Okay guys, we're gonna do a quick recap video of today's trades. Today we traded three stocks. We traded FRAN, EBON, and Job. So total of three stocks traded multiple times. The first one we're gonna jump into and look at is FRAN. We took a trade on this one pre-market, which was, I want to say it was around this level here. We'll jump into the, first of all, you can see that it moved from 380 up to 850 pre-market. So a very nice move. Here we had little opportunities, but I was not watching it around this time. You know, you got this little bull flag here, pull back, and this would have been a nice entry here at 705 for a nice entry up to 773. Another pullback, bull flag entry for a move higher. So we'll jump into the 1 minute chart to look at what we traded. So our first trade was pre-market. I jumped in here on this pullback. So it hit a high of 773. It pulled back, false bull flag here, and then it failed. So this right here was setting up for a potential entry. We'll pull it up. So the entry would have been around 750, 740, around that range. And I went ahead and jumped in here on the candle, on this candle's new high of 737. So I jumped in on this candle right there for 737 for a move up to 785, around that level. And it was a nice little win. I was trading with smaller share size because it was pre-market, a little bit riskier. It did work. It pulled back here, another bull flag entry. Nice. These are solid, clean entries. As you can tell here on the volume is also, the volume profile looks good. As you can see here, you got increasing volume, so that's always a plus. So as we get closer to the market open, we could mark this high of 848. You see 848 up here. It pulled back. So I was watching this for a 1 minute pullback candle to make a new high. So the entry would have been 823. So as soon as the market opened, that's where I jumped in. I jumped in at 823. It opened, it kind of hesitated for a little bit. It kind of, my level 2 froze. So I was like, crap, what I do? And I went ahead and jumped in, got filled at 823. And I sold some up here at 850, some at 868, and then the rest around 855. So that was a very clean entry, very clean trade. Very proud of that one. And let's see, and here we could have bought for a dip, but I was kind of, right after I take a trade, I like to kind of just take a minute, take a breather, and relax. Just kind of, watch for the next one. But this one right away, it offered another opportunity for a dip buy. It hit a low of 802, could have jumped in around 805, 810 for a move back up to 850, 870. Entry down here and sell up here. If I probably wouldn't have gotten this trade here, I would have most likely got on this one, on the second one. So that was, I believe that was it on this stock. Nice little gap and go setup. Gap and go has been working these past few days, so that's one thing to keep an eye on. Next trade was EBON. Unfortunately, this stock was a losing trade. I held a little bit too long, more than what I should have held for. I need to stick to my rules of breakout or bailout. So I jumped in this stock for a break of VWAP / 1 minute bull flag. As you can see here, it made a move from 420 up to 520. It did halt going up. It resumed higher. It pulled back, exaggerated drop. And here I was watching for a 1 minute pullback. So I was watching for this curl up for a move, possibly back up to in the 5s, 520s. So I jumped in around 470. It did not go. I should have sold it right away. I had plenty of opportunities to sell, pretty much break even, but I decided to hold. Not sure why. And I should have, whenever I seen this weakness here, whenever I saw that it hit a low of 452, I should have immediately recognized that weakness and bailed out. I did not bail out. I held. The next flag, red flag, I should have got out whenever it broke this low of 460, and I did not get out. I ended up getting at 443, a break of the $0.50 to the downside. Got a little bit of slippage because it dropped so fast, so hard. I got out around 443, and it hit a low of 425. So by cutting the loss there, I avoided a bigger loss. So that's the whole purpose, keeping those losses small. Of course, I could have cut it loose right away here, but I decided to give it a chance to play out. But I guess red flags on this one would have been this huge red volume bar and red candle, big doji, from a high of 515 all the way down to 450. So that's a red flag there, I would say. I did not take it. So the next trade was on, let's see, it was job. Took one trade on this one. This one, we were kind of watching it pre-market, but we weren't too sure just because it was already showing kind of weakness. So as you can see here, it was trading around 50 cents, hit a high of 215, pulled back, broke VWAP, then broke VWAP to the upside, and then it just consolidated here. Out of the gates, it did kind of squeeze up from 150 up to 244 and just kind of pulled back here. It halted, looks like it halted going down. So we'll jump into the 1 minute chart and look at the way that we traded it. Let's see. Okay, so this one's interesting. We had several halts going up. So it went from 143 up to 165, halted, it resumed higher, halted, it resumed, consolidated for a few minutes, 1 minute, 2 minutes, and then it just exploded higher, halted, resumed higher, it squeezed higher up to 244, it pulled back, halted going down, resumed a little bit low, and then it closed a little bit higher. Of course, on this candle, it dropped all the way down to the bottom of that, and it just recovered here slowly, halted going up. So where I jumped in was on the resumption of this halt. It halted at 219. I jumped in whenever I saw a dip. I felt like this was going to dip. The reason I felt that it was going to dip was because here we saw this volume bar dying down, and we saw these candle bars going up. That's a divergence. You got candles going up, but volume bars going down. So that kind of tells me, okay, something's not lined up here. We might see a quick reversal. So I was expecting a dip out of this halt. So that's exactly what happened. It resumed at 219. It halted at 219, opened 220, pulled back down to 210, and I jumped in here around 215, 218 for a squeeze up to 230, and I sold up here at 230, and I was out of that trade. Of course, you would have liked for it to keep going, maybe hit a high of 244, but in this case, it did not. I guess that one, since it's a red volume bar, red doji candle, that's the reason why it possibly didn't hit that level. You had a lot of selling pressure up here. So as soon as you get that candle to pop up here, you're going to get all that selling pushing it down. So I was glad with that trade. It was a smaller trade. Jumped in here, 215, sold at 230. So nice 15 cents of profit. So that was it. Those were my trades for today. Today was pretty interesting. We had opportunities pre-market, and then we had the gap and go setup. I think the gap and go setup was probably the cleanest one, and that's a setup that I'm probably going to keep an eye on Monday morning. I'm going to watch for, I'm not too sure about trading pre-market. I set a rule that I was not going to trade pre-market because last week I had taken 2 trades pre-market and I was red on them back to back, one day after the next. So I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to cut that out. No more pre-market trades. And so we'll keep an eye on, we'll just watch pre-market trades. We won't take any trades. We'll just learn from them, learn from the trades, and then we'll keep an eye out for gap and go setups. Gap and go setups have been working very nice. So on this case, we had a gap and go setup work here. And then the second potential entry was a dip buy opportunity for a move higher. So that's something to keep an eye on. All right, guys, any questions, just let me know. Thanks.